Hello and welcome to the Pursuing Excellence podcast. My name is Stephanie Hajar, and today we're going to be talking about the difference between what you do and who you are. Do you remember your freshman year of college? If you do, or maybe you're a freshman right now, you'll remember or you'll know that two of the most common questions you get asked as a freshman, or really throughout your entire time in college, are number one, where are you from? And number two, what's your major? And those are two perfectly fine questions, especially when you're getting to know someone. It gives you a little bit of context about where they come from and what they're interested in. When I moved to Los Angeles right after college, two of the most common questions I got asked were, number one, where are you from? And number two, what do you do? And although those also seem like totally normal questions to ask somebody, I started to notice quickly that some people were either more or less interested in the person that they were talking to based off of the response they gave to the question, what do you do? Throughout the past 10 plus years, I've had the privilege of speaking with countless entertainment professionals and sports professionals. And I often like to ask people how they started in their career and how this career came to be. And a lot of people have very different answers, but the most common thread amongst almost every person's answer in both entertainment and sports is having a passion for the industry or for the sport. When it comes to music and entertainment, whether somebody works behind the scenes or in front of the camera or on the stage, most of the time, their story starts from a relatively young age where they fell in love with music or sports or film and TV, and they just knew they had something inside of them that told them, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. And that passion grew over time. Let's say it's an athlete and let's say they play baseball. This athlete most likely started playing baseball when he was maybe 4 or 5 years old, and he just played on the t-ball team like every other kid did. And over time, he started to realize that he was really good at it, and he really enjoyed it, and he loved winning, and he loved being on the field, and he loved being with his teammates, and he loved performing, and he loved the strategy and the game of baseball. And as he got older, baseball became the thing that he did, and the thing that people knew him for. Baseball became the thing he did before school, after school. It might have been the thing that he was thinking throughout school or thinking about throughout school. Baseball, baseball, baseball. And that sounds perfectly okay. And it is. Until it's not. So most of us that are in these industries, we come to love and develop a passion for these industries. And we work in the industry. And then at some point we start to realize that this passion, this love that we have for the industry becomes all-consuming. Our work becomes the thing that we think about, maybe even 24/7. Because we love the thing that we do, we figure out at a certain point we don't have any other hobbies. I work with a lot of entertainers and a lot of musicians, and a handful of them have said at some point in their career, they felt like music was a chore and not as much fun as it used to be once upon a time. And I've started to see a pattern when this sort of thing happens. When it happens, most of the time, whether this person is an athlete, whether they are an agent or a manager or a songwriter or a musician or A&R, it doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what their job title is. At some point, this person has tied their identity to the thing that they do. This passion that they've had for such a long time becomes the only thing that they know to do or know how to do. Like I said, the hobbies fall away, or maybe there never were any other hobbies. And when work becomes a chore and the one creative outlet that you had, or the one fun thing you used to do as a kid, is now your work, it can be very convoluted. When we spend so much of our time, our energy, our efforts, our scheduling, our routines, our lives, when we spend so much of our lives doing the thing that we do for work or doing the thing that we do in our career, we can start to fall into this trap of believing that the thing that we do is who we are. And maybe even more than that, it is our worth. Our job title is our worth. And maybe even more than that, the level that we're at, or the level at which we're performing, or the results that we've seen or haven't seen, or the accomplishments or the achievements that we have or don't have determine our worth or our value as humans. And nothing could be further from the truth. Your value as a human never changes. Your value stays the same. What we do for our careers, especially in these passion-driven careers like entertainment, music, and sports, what we do is definitely a part of who we are. Absolutely a part of who we are. But it is also not all of who we are. It's just one part. But what makes it a little muddy and unclear is when all of our time and effort and energy is spent thinking about and doing the thing that we've always dreamed of. It's all about the passion, and therefore all the other parts of us start to fall away, or they get put on the back burner, or they get shoved under the rug. And we kind of forget that those other parts are part of us too. Whatever our job title is, our achievements that we have or don't have, or our salary, whatever those things might be, are simply a measurement or a result of the things that we do in the marketplace or our preferred area of work. Sure, not all people are equal in the marketplace. And actually, that's not a bad thing. That's actually a good thing. Let's go back to baseball. If you are the top player in the league, if you're Ohtani on the Dodgers, you should be getting paid more than a rookie that just joined the team and has a lot to learn and doesn't have the skill level that Ohtani has. He should be paid more than a rookie. So our value in the marketplace can be different and can change. It can grow and it can lessen. But our value as humans is something that always stays the same. It never grows, it never changes, it never falls, no matter what we do in the marketplace. Period. And thank God for that. We are all individually, uniquely, beautifully, wonderfully created. And those things never change. That fact never changes. It will always stay the same. It's really important to know the difference between our value in the marketplace and our value as humans, and to separate who we are from the thing that we do. Here are a couple of ways that I teach my clients to do exactly that. Number 1, focus on effort, progress, and growth instead of results. I'm just going to go back to the athlete example because it's the easiest one for all of us to relate to and sort of picture in our minds. So I've been working with a collegiate athlete who is an absolutely brilliant human being, a fantastic player, and a fantastic human. And she puts a lot of pressure on herself to win. And listen, if you're a competitor, you want to win. If you've ever played sports, you want to win. Very few people play just for the heck of it. We all want to win. And yet, if our sole focus is on winning all the time and being perfect and playing perfectly and never making a mistake, that creates so much tension and pressure that inevitably our bodies and our minds cannot be loose and cannot be free to play the game the way that we know how to. And so because we're so hyper-focused on it, most of the time what we do is we accidentally become tense and tight and we keep ourselves from winning because we're so hyper focused on it. When we're focused on playing the game well, playing to the best of our abilities, progressing in practice, growing, doing better than we did yesterday, that is the thing that builds confidence. That is the thing that helps us get to the result that we ultimately want, which is winning or growing. And again, when we focus on those things, the results just kind of come from there. They just sort of speak for themselves. The next one is separate the truth of who you are from what you do. Again, who you are and your value as a human never changes. It is always the same. What you do is your career. What you do is the thing you're passionate about and hopefully the thing that you get to earn a living from as well. But the two things are separate. Again, it is part of who you are, the thing that you do, but it's not all of you. So, with that being said, I have a couple of reflection questions for you. These are questions you can ask when you start to notice yourself falling into that trap of who I am and what I do being the same thing. Or when you start to notice that you've accidentally intertwined your worth and your value as a human to your level of success. When we do that, our thoughts often sound like, I'm doing great in my job right now. I'm great. I feel great. I'm proud of myself. I feel amazing. I give myself a pat on the back. I'm happy. And on the flip side, the thoughts might sound like this. I'm not doing well right now in my job or my career. Therefore, I'm not doing well. I don't feel well. I don't feel good about myself. I feel like a failure. I feel like insert derogatory term here. I don't deserve to win the game or the Grammy or get the deal that I want because I'm not doing well. And so what's the point? Either way, whether we're doing really well and succeeding or operating and performing at the level that we want to, we're getting the results that we want, or we're not, attaching our worth to either one of those things is a perfect recipe for disaster and a perfect recipe for pain and suffering. So use these questions to help you to shift your mind to the truth and to help you start to separate those two things and learn more about who you are and those other parts of you that maybe you've forgotten, or maybe you threw out the window a long time ago, or maybe you just don't want to reckon with or don't want to pay attention to. So here we go. The first question is, who am I outside of my career? This is a question that a lot of athletes have to ask themselves when they experience an injury. Let's say I'm a tennis player and I've played tennis my whole life, and then I get a really bad elbow or shoulder injury and I'm out for 6 months to a year. Well, now what do I do? I've played tennis my whole life. That's what I do with all my time. That's what I think about all the time. Everything I do is for tennis. I don't know who I am now if I'm not playing tennis. Now I just sit on the couch? What do I do? Who am I? If you're a guitar player, God forbid you break a finger or you break your hand and you can't play anymore. What do? Who are you now? What happens when there's a period of time in which you're unable to do the thing that you do, to play the sport that you play, or to work in the industry that you work in? Who are you aside from that? The other question could be alongside that, who am I outside of my accomplishments? So maybe career is okay, you don't have any injuries, but maybe you're not achieving at the level that you thought you would, or maybe the results aren't showing up yet, or maybe you're in a slump. Who are you outside of your achievements? Are you solely your achievements and your accomplishments and your performance? Or is there something else, somewhere else, someone else in which you tie your identity to? What is something that never changes about you and your identity? The next question is, when was the last time that I felt content aside from a big accomplishment in my career? When was the last time that I felt content aside from a big accomplishment in my career? Am I content with the behind the scenes growth that I'm seeing in practice every day? Am I content with the behind the scenes growth that I see in my personal life over time? Am I content with where I'm at? Or do I need to accomplish in order to feel good about myself? And I'm not saying slip into mediocrity, because that doesn't do anything for anybody. I'm definitely not saying stop pursuing excellence and just coast and be complacent. That's not healthy either. But can I be content without a major accomplishment? Ask yourself that. And the last question is, what about me never changes? Who am I, and what is never changing? Am I a sister? Am I a mother? Am I a daughter? Am I a friend? Am I a humorous person? What am I? Who are you? Ask these questions and answer these questions in the first person. It's really important to do that so that you are associated with these answers and with these thoughts instead of dissociating yourself from them. So if you were to ask, who are you? And you answer, you are, it's very different than who am I and I am. So if you've ever struggled with this, or you've started to experience it, or you've experienced it once before in the past, or maybe multiple times in the past, share with me in the comments what that was like, or shoot me a DM on Instagram. I would love to hear your experience and how you got through it, and what questions and what mindset shifts helped you to come back to who you really are and separating yourself from the thing that you do. Also, if you've never even heard of this concept and you're starting to notice it happen, or you've seen it happen with other people, share this with them. Try these questions out. And if you do try them, please let me know what you gain from it in the comment section. Hit the like button if you liked it. This just helps to get the video out to more people on YouTube so that other people can learn and grow and pursue excellence just like you are. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon on the next episode of the Pursuing Excellence podcast.